Well, guys, it is now time for the MTWS season recap so far, as this is the November edition after the last November event in Toronto happened back on Sunday, as we have a big, very busy schedule in December with the most events ever in a month in MTWS. 7 events coming up in December. Absolutely insane. As, of course, here is how the regular season is going so far, going into December, as Shatter is the points leader right now and is the only truck right now in the championship, the first truck to qualify. Shadowrun almost got in. It was just a few points short of being qualified, so if Shadowrun does very good in its next event, it very likely will get in, but it's not in yet. And then afterwards, Thunderbolt having a very good year, unlike last year, 3rd place. Nitro, although its race record still isn't really that good, starting to turn around a little bit. Needs to keep up the pace to get back to the championship. Then there's Impala, who's doing very good. Crazy Bull, oh my god. What a season Crazy Bull's had so far. It's having right now probably the greatest stretch of racing in MTWS history. It's gone like, what, 17-3 or something like that? This is like the greatest stretch of racing a monster truck I think in MTWS has ever had. It's made the final 6 straight times, which is probably a record. Oh my gosh, it is just insane. Like, I bet Crazy Bull's wondering, why couldn't I do this last year? So all of a sudden now, Crazy Bull's like unstoppable in racing after being so terrible last year. And is a major threat maybe to win the championship, question mark, in racing? Although that might be a little bit too early to say since it always struggles in the championship. And then there's Patriot doing very good, Mad Dog doing very good, Power Forward not really doing good racing-wise, has a 500 record. That's very not good. Crush and Run also not having a very good race record last year. Very disappointing in that regard, but hey, still deep in the championship. Crazy hanging there. Outlaw, after making the finals in Baltimore, still not having a very good racing record, as it finally has a win record so far this year, but still hanging in there. And then Predator, terrible racing record, but hey, doing very dominant freestyle, so that's helping out. Crusher, making it quite far in racing sometimes. Of course, won its first freestyle back in DuCoin, so it's hanging in very well. Blood Rage with a losing record. That's not very good for an elite racer. Night Stalker, doing very good to try and make it to the championship. Prowler, hanging in there. Flying Falcon, not doing good in racing, but did solid last time out. I think it was in Baltimore, so it's trying to catch up and hang in there. Damage Control is having a pretty solid season so far to make its first championship appearance of the season. And same goes for Polar Storm, having a 500 record, and it's still like right in the mix. And then Destroyer hanging in there, although it has a terrible racing record. Venom at 500 record right now, hanging in there, surprisingly doing very good. Locomotion, remember early in the year, had like a very strong racing record, one of the best records in the league. Now it's fallen off quite a bit, but still hanging in there. And then Daisy Chain hanging in there as well. A whole bunch of trucks haven't made the championship before the regular season, on the verge of making it in. And then, of course, we get to the Runners-Up Cup field right now, as Flying Falcon just missing out right now by 25 points, as it's still not largely having a good year. And then Stinger having a very good racing record so far, but still hasn't got in yet. It's just missing out by a little bit. And then Outrage, not having a very good season so far. Been kind of disappointed sometimes in freestyle, despite winning freestyle. It's having a terrible stretch the last few weeks in November. Madness has a win record racing, especially since it won racing in Julian, but it's still far out in the championship, which it really hopes to get back to. Bone Crush having a good year, but it's still not enough yet, as it's just out in the Runners-Up Cup. Bling has not been having a good year largely so far. It's fallen back quite a bit, so it's better hope to make a big comeback. Topsy Turvy, after having a slow start to the year because it didn't compete in a lot of events, has made quite big of a comeback now, but still just falling short of right now. Total Chaos has a 500 racing record, but hasn't been as good in freestyle, I think, this year, or at least not consistently in terms of points, so far back in the point stands. Reckless Tent has a 500 record, hanging in there, but needs to pick up the pace. The Monster Razor, once again, really needs to climb out of its hole it's in. Wild Ryan, however, has been struggling. Losing record right now. Not been very good in freestyle, although it did have a great freestyle last time out in Toronto. Really needs to pick up the pace and wants to make championship. Not miss out first time since 2011. Crasher, just hanging around like always. Fireball has a win record, although its record is not as dumb as it was last year. But the main problem for Fireball is that it hasn't really competed in a lot of events, which means the end of the year it's going to be competing in a lot of events. We're going to be seeing Fireball a lot coming up, which, hey, will hopefully help it get into the championship. It's only competed in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's got like 5 more events to go or something like that. So it's got plenty of time to make the comeback if it does dominance. So we'll see how it does. War Machine, far back, but I don't think it's going to probably make it unless it has a major impressive season turnaround. And then Yi Plunder has a win record, but likewise hasn't competed in a lot of events, so we'll see how it does to wrap up the year to get back to the championship. And last place, Eruption, with a losing record. The only saving grace has been doing very dominant freestyle. I mean, overall, Eruption, outside of the season opener in Vegas, has been doing pretty good in terms of points, but it just hasn't been competing in a lot of events so far. Same goes for like Fireball, has a lot of events still to compete in, but these struggles in racing lately have been not doing very good for it. One and done in racing. It just needs to do better if it wants to make the championship. Okay, so who has the most points? I mean not points. Shatter, of course, has the most points. The best racing record in terms of wins, it's Crazy Bull with 23 wins, and then it's Shatter with 21. As these two have been the most best racers so far now. Crazy Bull made it to the final 6 times in a row. Shatter's won racing back-to-back times right now. Just dominant in terms of that regard. And in terms of racing record, it's Crazy Bull. Once again, 76.6 winning percentage, and Shatter's right behind, winning 2/3 of its races. No, 3/4 of its races. So Shatter and Crazy Bull are the 2 best racers right now. The most freestyle points, however, is undisputably Shadowrun, the defending freestyle champion who's having the best freestyle season, best title defense all time probably so far. Haven't looked up yet, but I think Shadowrun has been just unstoppable in freestyle. Like, only had one bad freestyle. It's been dominant like every week so far. And it's one freestyle like back-to-back weeks. Insane season's had so far for Shadowrun. And then second in points looks like Thunderbolt. How about that? Thunderbolt, the last freestyle champion right now, second in freestyle. Because it's funny, last year Thunderbolt struggled so much in freestyle, and even racing too. Now it's being very good in racing, and now it's been very good in freestyle. Like, why couldn't Thunderbolt do this last year? I guess same thing that happened with Crazy Bull. So yeah, Thunderbolt second in freestyle points looks like. So yeah, there we go. So this is how the season's going up. Finishing up with 7 weeks left. Shatter's in a championship. No one else is qualified yet, although Shadowrun is right on the verge. And if Shadowrun's on the verge right now, I'm sure after next week, we'll see Thunderbolt and Nitro possibly get in too. It's going to be interesting the last few weeks. And of course, no one's been eliminated yet, and I don't think anyone's close to being eliminated just yet and going into the Runners-Up Cup. But we're going to be seeing very soon. That's going to be changing. So yeah, guys, we got 7 events left in the year. Of course, remember, this Sunday, December 3rd, we'll be in San Antonio. Down December 10th in Anaheim. December 17th in West Lebanon. December 24th in Denver. And then live on Christmas Day in Atlanta. And then the season finales in East Rutherford and Oakland on December 31st. So right now, we have 1 truck qualifying in. 1 almost got in. And we got whole bunch more trucks trying to get in. We'll see how they do to wrap up the rest of the year. So see you guys in the beginning of 2024 for the final season recap of the 2023 MTWS season.